about the show. And do you have some questions about Marty Jannetty you'd like to ask Monty and the Pharaoh about?
Oh,
let's
boy.
talk about it a little
Yeah,
bit.
I wanted to. I mean, what's the heck's the latest story on him? I saw where he. I live in Georgia, and Marty's from Georgia in Columbus. And
Right.
Evidently, confessed to some major crime. Is that right?
Well, there's a couple things to peel back, right? So first, one of the big Marty things was that he wanted to have sex with his daughter.
Oh God!
You heard that one, right?
no.
Oh, okay. So I'll tell you about
So
that.
That's a major crime too.
Yes, it sure is.
Where does all this come out? How does that come?
Marty
We
likes,
love Marty.
Marty
He's a
likes
great
to put
guy,
stuff
but-
on Facebook and then go, oops.
Oh, jeez.
So it's kind of like.
So he posted. No, wait. To his defense, on the last show, he said someone hacked his Facebook. So
Yes, on that
in his
partic-
defense,
on that
but
topic, yes.
someone hacked his Facebook and it said, "Hey guys, have you ever had a daughter that you wanted to have sex with?"
Oh, yeah.
And he posts a picture of her, and then a couple of people must have reached out and said, "Are you high today?" And Marty's like, "I don't know what's going on." So, but the most recent thing,
Gee, my niece.
the most recent thing with Marty
Aren't you glad you asked?
is Marty claims that he worked in a bowling alley at 13 years old.
Okay.
He went to buy some dirt weed, but him and his friends, and again, look, I'm not trying to be offensive, so I'm not, not using the proper language, but his friends needed money, so they would allow this gentleman who ran the bowling alley to give them oral sex for like money, so they could have extra money to spend. And Marty claimed the money was so good you could buy a car in a couple of weeks.
$50 for a session, but who can say they remember
Right.
the exact amount?
So according to Marty, he went to buy some weed, and this gentleman decided he wanted to take advantage of Marty. And Marty didn't want any part of it. Because
Advantage meaning he didn't want to pay him the 50.
he did it. He wanted to do something to Marty, but Marty did not want that to happen.
yeah, that oral thing.
So instead of just leaving the situation, Marty decided to take a brick and hit the guy over the head and killed him. So he put that on Facebook. So I guess the police kind of said, this is interesting. Let's look into it.
They looked
Is
into
that
it.
true?
This is a true story.
That
yeah.
It was on TMZ and everything.
Well, we
No,
just
but I mean,
told you.
so did he really do that?
Okay, well, let's get to the rest.
So on Marty was here a couple of weeks ago, and Marty said that, hey, and by the way, this is the first time he spoke about it on anyone's show, but Hannibal, who you guys probably know, got credit for it because he talked to Hannibal about it 48 hours later.
Later.
That's my problem with it.
Yeah, mine too.
But
Go
anyway,
on. Hi, Hannibal.
Marty
Anyway.
claims that this really didn't happen. It was a work for a wrestling story. What wrestling story, I don't know.
Oh my God.
But then he went on to say on the show, but, say it was a wrestling story. Do you know that when you burn a body, bones don't burn? So I didn't know whether he was saying it was make-believe or it was real. But he pretty much confessed on the show that he murdered this guy.
Wow.
Now, you
mean,
guys
I've-
worked with
I've-
Marty for a long time.
I've heard some dumb stories
Yeah, right?
by some very, very dumb people. But that tops the list. I'm not saying he's dumb,
Not
but
quite.
that tops the list.
But let me ask you this.
He
Has
is
Marty always been like this?
Marty's a really good guy from what, how I know. I haven't seen him for a long
Well,
time.
Marty's had a lot of demons in his past.
But
so-
he's just he's a nice guy. I've never had any bad things to say
But
about
I mean,
Marty.
did he have... Look, it's obviously... Look, Marty's been on the show a few times, and he's really a great person. He's a really good human
Marty's
being.
cool.
But Marty, our first event with Marty, when you asked how long we've been doing this, we brought Marty in, and he was so stoned out of his mind, we couldn't even do a show.
No, don't put pot down like that. He was coked out of his mind. There's a difference.
Okay.
He wasn't stoned.
So anyway, he couldn't...
He would have
Like, you're
behaved
interviewing,
himself
it
if
was
he
not...
stoned.
It was like... It was a very incoherent interview.
Yeah, he was.
Wow.
And he came back and so, look, to be honest with you, we took some liberties. I was pretty pissed off about it, right?
Well,
So
we
I
paid him
kinda-
for a service, and he screwed us. So we basically spent the next.
We were
6
having
months,
like a radio show and then a signing, right? So
Yeah.
I kind of had it, and then he punched me in the face, and then we made up.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
So
Yeah, we made up like.
and then we had him back, and then he told this story, and that's where we're at.
He punched you in the face, and then you had him back.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, we're we're
I can
different.
handle it.
Yeah, he was fine.
You didn't punch him back.
He was
did
like,
you?
"Really? Is that it?"
Nah.
All right.
I had too much respect for the guy. Seriously, I do. I have too much respect for the
Kind
guy.
of does. How's that for a mark? Mark.
That's some bullshit right there.
Yeah.
That's
Really? Is that a
crazy
mark?
stuff,
Is that
man.
being a mark because you don't punch somebody back in the
No,
face as they
no,
hit you?
no.
Out
It's
of
just-
love for
it's
them being a
just,
great wrestler after they clocked you? Yeah, you're being a little marky.
being
maybe
being
a little? No.
in Georgia, it was all over the news
Now, you're his neighbor. How come you haven't stopped by and been like...
No, he's about 110 miles away from me.
Okay.
And I only travel about 80 miles.
You know, Axe punched me in the nose, and I punched him back, and then he punched me back, and I punched him back.
Which is one of the greatest moments in wrestling history, by the way. You know, now that you mention it.
And then we both looked for the Giant.
My still hurts from that.
We both looked for the Giant to come in.
Yeah, we were begging for the Giant to come in.
Both battle. Who came up with that? Was that nerdy enough? You?
Who came up with that?
Dork.
One of the greatest moments of wrestling
It
history.
wasn't 1999.
Literally drew the numbers out of a hat.
Really?
Yeah.
They what?
Yeah.
And it just happened to be
And
you
it's
two?
and it's never going to be. It's never ever going to be able to do it again.
We didn't even know it.
That was so
They'll never be able to do it again because people will say, "Oh, that happened years ago,"
Right.
and we get that.
1989.
We get that all the time.
First thing I thought, what the heck am I going to do with him in the ring?
What did you think?
Right, that's
Do I go
What did you
shake?
think with the reaction?
Do I go shake hands with him and go, "Hey, Axe, this is great,"
And I think that
or do I punch the crap out of him and have him do it back?
I think that what struck I think the fans probably thought
That was great.
there's going to be some kind of a switch here, turn, but it didn't.
Right.
But we couldn't have stayed. What was the time frame? A minute between?
Yeah, like 2 minutes.
So the
before
way I
next
remember,
one.
I was in the military at the time, so I was in Germany.
Minute or
So we used to get the VCR tapes like months after the event, right? Because they'd finally filtered their way to Europe. But when that happened, so the way I remember is you two come in, you face off, you stare at each other, you start beating the crap out of each other.
was so
but
great.
the best
Oh my
moment
God.
is number 3 is Andre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys start to put a whooping on Andre's ass, and it's like, this is the best shit I've ever seen.
But you guys were praying for Andre to come out. You thought,
yeah,
the show. What was up with that? Why, you just
I
uncomfortable?
didn't want to see
We
him
beat each other up.
Oh, he was killing you? Is that what was going on?
Both of us.
Oh, you're killing each other?
Yeah.
Oh, God, dear God.
Anyway,
And you didn't hold back at all, huh?
I want to thank the future Hall of Famers.
Fans loved it.
You will be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, don't get me
The
started.
greatest tag team in the